Welcome to week number 3, and unfortunately the final week of our coverage of Star Wars Visions.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Wizard episode of the Empire Radio Podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And like we've been doing for the past 2 weeks, we're bringing Visions to a close. We're gonna cover the last 3 episodes: the Elder, Lop and Ocho, and Akakiri today. That's what we're gonna be covering. So strap in if you've enjoyed our Visions content thus far. It's going to be great. And if you haven't, we're still going to do it. And
Sorry,
we've got some more stuff coming starting next week.
To listen.
Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't though. Visions is great. But guys, I'm really excited about something.
Oh man.
And it's not that I'm having a kid, because I'm not having a kid. I'm just going to go ahead and stop that right there. I have a second monitor.
Oh, weird flex, but okay.
I finally got one.
I noticed you were, during the pregame, you were looking in a different direction all the time. I'm like, why are you looking in a different direction?
Yeah. No, David, I'm not having a baby. Thank you. So it's really great, because now I have the Twitch stream on one side. I've got all of our buttons and stuff on one side. And I have the ability to have Disney Plus open and like play stuff for reference.
Welcome to
so
my
it's
world,
really.
I was thinking of getting a second screen too, but I don't know what to get. I don't know what to do.
You also have like 3 laptops. You can just line them all up.
No, but here's the thing. So I got one that it magnetically clasped to the back of my
side
laptop,
of it?
to the back of it, and it slides out. And so like when I'm
Oh.
not using it, I can slide it in or I can just pop it off. It's super slick.
Oh, I was thinking
quality
like,
isn't the best, though,
like
probably.
like an actual monitor.
No, it's 1080. It's like really good 1080.
Oh.
It's not 4K, but like,
yeah.
to be fair, I don't even know if my actual monitor.
Yeah, sure.
Well, no, it's 4K because I edit in 4K. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So I'm excited about that. It's gonna mean, bruh, I look down. David says, "You've been single monitoring it this whole time."
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have a full setup.
I'm like debating on getting a third one at this point.
Well,
but yeah.
Flex. Okay, so anyways,
Not flexing. It's more practical.
Another thing I'm excited about, Drew's shirt reminded me, this is completely off topic.
Oh gosh.
But here we go, Jeremiah. We are getting the prequel to Mugen Train.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting the full season in December. So Demon Slayer fans rejoice. That announcement went out a few days ago. And StarWars.com, did you guys see that StarWars.com released the like, hey, here's the
forum of Book of Boba thing?
What?
Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the merch.
Oh, I didn't see the
They're
merch.
doing like merch releases every week between now and December. Yeah, like new merch. So like today,
Christmas is just around the corner. So.
Yeah, so they posted it on their story, and I looked at it, and it was like, it was like some Mandalorian themed Crocs, if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh hell yeah, let's go!
Oh gosh,
hey, they're super easy to put on.
So we've got that. There's like a Lucasfilm 50th anniversary or something like that, commemorative bomber jacket, and some glasses that are like styled after different characters from the Mandalorian. So it's just like, so they're going to be releasing things.
Do they have any like Ahsoka inspired clothing that's not aimed at females?
They have glasses. They have sunglasses.
Like I look at shirts like and stuff or Ahsoka stuff, and it's always for women, and it's like I don't want to wear this.
Except for that hoodie I got.
That's true. Yeah, there's
Or
the
the
glasses,
jersey.
everyone.
Yeah, I'm pulling
Okay,
it up
so
on
Drew,
Twitch.
Drew, what I want you to do real quick is
Oh,
scroll up,
that looks
scroll
nice.
up to the schedule.
This thing.
No, the schedule. Yeah. So it's interesting because there's different. Go down. There's a schedule with little holograms on it. Go down.
Yeah, this.
Nope. Keep going.
You're delayed. Just trust me.
Okay.
Chill.
Sorry. What I was looking at, I was like, dude, you're not looking at the schedule at all. Sorry.
I was.
So it's interesting because they have all these different icons,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to the bottom row,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like the Lucasfilm 50th thing. There's the game controller, which obviously signifies there's some sort of a game. We got Boba's helmet, which I'm guessing is merch from Book of
Well, it's
Boba.
December 21st, so I would
Right.
assume.
But then the last one
Mhm. Those are
has
the.
two lightsabers,
Yep.
one of
And,
which is Stellan Geos's
and the
with the
other one is.
Mace Windu's.
Yes.
And so I'm excited because I'm speculating that we might get, I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed, Stellan Geos Black Series Saber.
That's that's a possibility.
Because if
Dude,
that's the
week
case,
5 is Rex.
week 8 is a Gonk droid. There you go, Riley.
Donk.
But all I'm saying is if we somehow get a Stellan Geos's lightsaber, Black Series lightsaber, mark my words, I will be buying it.
Wait, like right off the bat type of thing?
Oh my lord.
Or are you gonna like
Fucking
save up and
triple
eventually get it?
I'll save up and eventually, like, I probably won't have the money right away.
Cause like you're
But because
never gonna buy the saber we got you, the Revan saber, but now this one you are actually gonna fork the money over.
well, no, it's
Dang,
because
Jeremiah's throwing so much shade.
I got bitten by I have a lightsaber bug, and now I
Oh.
want more. I mean, like, I'm building one at Disney in March. So, anyways,
Weird flex.
okay,
Tanner can
mister,
enjoy
I've
the-
been there 14 and a half times.
I've been there 3 times. Now David in the chat has been there 14 and a half times. That's for sure.
That's true. Anyways, so that's the other thing I'm excited
I
about.
thought you were talking about the Book of Boba, how like there was like a article about it and how they're saying that it's far superior of the season 2 of The Mandalorian. That's what they're saying.
Well, it's not going to matter because when Kenobi comes out, it's going to be
True.
in game for everything else for me. So,
Well,
just to see good old Ewan back on the big screen,
that's fair.
I miss him. He's a brilliant actor. So yeah, I just wanted to cover those two things real quick. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. So first up is The Elder. Wow, we're very quiet about this one, huh?
Yep.
Very enthusiastic. Jeremiah, before we dive in, let's just go around and say what we thought of this episode.
You want me to start with this episode?
Actually, yes. I do.
Why not?
Because
Okay.
then,
Get us
depending on
sad
the
up
way
right
it goes,
away.
Drew and I can be the buffer for everything else.
Okay, so I think last week when we talked about TOB1, I was like, this is the episode that I'm like most excited for, and then I was like really let down by this.
Okay.
By that. But this episode I was also really excited for, but I was also really let down by this episode. This was I did not like it. I'm sorry.
At all?
This was a very, very last week I talked in my presentation about show don't tell, and
Yeah.
this was all tell. This was like it was just them talking and about stuff that there's
I
conversations
see
they
it.
would never have in real life, like in these scenes. Like they're just stating all this stuff about what they're doing, and I'm like, they're not showing us anything. And when we get to the end, like when they're actually what we're looking for, this the fight, like it was cool, and interesting, but like the whole episode as a whole, I was just like, this is not that great, and I didn't understand why the Padawan didn't die by getting his
Yeah,
gut slit
yeah,
open.
yeah,
It's just like,
yeah. He got fricked pretty hard.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
I still think it was cool, like when the master was facing off with the elder. I thought that was cool, and then how he tricked him into beating him. Basically, I thought it was cool, but overall, the episode was just like I wasn't invested in it anyway because it was just all them talking and having conversations and stuff.
Okay, that's fair. That wasn't as controversial as I thought it was going to be. I don't think anything.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think anything you said was like, whoa, okay, you stepped over the line.
I might be doing that later on this episode.
Yeah,
maybe more than once. So
I'm not gonna lie. I have thought multiple times, not for very long, but definitely multiple times about your actual opinions of these 3 episodes. So, anyways, Drew, let's shift over to you. What were your thoughts?
It was fine. Like, it was a fun lightsaber duel. Like, it was really cool. I agree with Jeremiah, though. It didn't really make sense how he didn't die, but definitely would have died. Or at least he would have, like, pulled a maul and, like, had half his torso left. Like, it really doesn't make sense. Like, or even a Snoke. I mean, like, they cut Snoke in half like that, and then his body kind of just slid apart, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that would have happened, like, you know?
Yeah.
So.
What was that sound you made?
Was it?
All right, we'll keep that for later.
I got you.
Save that one for the.
That could be like the smooth sound effect. That's like
I don't know. That was it was a little too.
That was a little too thick.
Too wet sounding to be smooth. I didn't. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
We're not
All
doing
right.
that.
Well. Anyways, yeah, I just thought it was a cool episode. The animation style was really cool. I enjoyed it. It's just like another one of those episodes. Like, I liked it, but it's not in like my top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was underwhelmed. Not a lot, but I remember thinking to myself as I was watching it, like, I definitely thought there's going to be more fighting in this episode. I think the animation was all right. It felt really stiff at times for me personally. For my and it's hard because it's like I'm not going to sit here and critique something I have no experience in. Like, I'm not going to talk about the way the animation looked and how bad it looked.
But
not
I
being
feel
an
like
illustrator,
that's not fair though, because like we talk about movies all the time and we have no.
I mean, that's true.
Be in a movie room.
That's true.
You know
I do. I guess I want to respect the animation studio, but also tell you that this is like definitely not my favorite animation style by a long shot. Like, it felt stiff and just kind of.
It wasn't as flowy,
boxy. Yeah. And especially because like I've been spoiled with things like, Demon Slayer, and like even I feel like even Naruto and like Bleach had smoother animation than this when it. It could be nostalgia kind of getting in there, but like there's an anime called God of High School.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a Crunchyroll original, and bro, the animation in that was Demon Slayer level too. So it's like it was hard because like you can tell when the ship comes out of hyperspace at the very beginning, it's like, and then it just kind of it looks like, Jeremiah, you'll get this, if you took a PNG in a video editing software and just moved it and up the scale a little bit. It was very static. It was like, oh, someone literally edited this to come towards you and get a little bit bigger. It just didn't feel like it had depth. So I don't know. It didn't take me out of it or anything, but I don't know if it was my least favorite episode, but it probably
Wasn't your favorite?
Oh, it definitely wasn't my favorite. I do think, Jeremiah, you're onto something with the show and don't tell thing. Because they could have easily, in the time it took for them to talk in the ship at the beginning, get to the planet, talk to the villagers, and then set out in their different ways, they could have actually just shown the elder arriving,
Right.
like kind of talking to some people, and then going up into the mountains, and then cut to the master where he's like, "Oh, I feel the disturbance in the force," and then maybe they just do a montage of them landing and showing them talking to the villagers, and then maybe one discussion of like, yeah, he was here and he went into the mountains, but like they could have easily have shown that without making the episode longer.
No,
Yeah.
real quick, the anime style for me, could be a deep cut for some people,
Okay.
but it reminds me of the Magic School Bus for some reason. Like
No.
how
What?
No.
have you
Because
seen?
I've recently seen like screenshots from that show. I'm like, this looks
Really?
way
I
different.
feel
This Frizzle look does not look the way I remember it. Like,
no, maybe I don't know. It just seems very flat. I see what you're saying, like
Dude,
Andrew,
yeah,
like
it does.
they don't move. Like the
well,
characters are just like
I would say
stagnant,
that a lot of that has to do with the color is very
intense.
adult. I would say it's not intense. It's dull.
Well,
It's very.
it's intense when they're flying. It's like very bright, and then
Well,
until
yeah,
they get
but
that
it's
planet,
all the colors in most of the episode is just very
brown.
dim, earthy. It's not.
Yeah,
It's kind of dark in tones. Like it's
yeah, but
very
like
that. So it's hard to show expression through imagery when it's all very earthy tones and it's not there's
Yeah,
nothing bright.
it also felt it didn't feel like the shading, and I could be wrong. I need to go back and like pull up some shots.
well, that's why you have a second to monitor.
That's true. It even like I'm looking at a shot right now. Like I just randomly scrubbed to like 6 minutes in, and even the shading feels very
flat.
two-dimensional. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just flat. It's very colorful. Well, I don't know. The cockpit scenes seem very like something I would color on a like I don't know.
I mean,
know. Like
it's
it's
interesting
not,
because
there's not a lot of shading.
This studio has a very diverse range of anime. Like I'm looking at their credits right now, and obviously they're all very different, but like I know that they have the ability to
different
shade and to color very dynamically. So it was
even like the way their mouths move, like when they're talking to each other, it's like just their mouths, but nothing else is moving. Like if you watch the cockpit scene, like it's very just like flat, and they're just I don't know. It seems like they just figured out how to make a cartoon almost. Like
Oh gosh,
I don't know if I'd go that far,
well,
but
it seems like beginning Disney art style. I don't know.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either, but
also something about the episode that was kind of distracting was that. Oh wait, you Andrew, you didn't watch this one in dub, did you?
Bro, I didn't watch any of them in dub.
So this is the one with the guy from Stranger Things was the master. Hopper. So
yeah,
he
David
was
Harbour. That actually makes a lot of sense now that I'm.
So he's the master. His voice. So I kept hearing Hopper from Stranger Things during this whole thing, and I'm like, I was kind of distracting. So I don't know. And he was very calm in his delivery. I don't know if that came out in the Japanese version.
It was also very.
The Japanese version though, the actor sounded a lot like Master Roshi in Dragon Ball Z. Like, is very like comedic, crazy old man style.
Oh, like, you're talking about the elder.
The elder, yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, again, it's hard for me it's harder for me to critique this animation studio than it is for me to critique Disney and the producers for the sequels. But because I have a lot of respect for the animation and these studios and what they do, but like I definitely think that it could have been
A little
better in some ways. So anyways, so let's talk about the overall plot from kind of like a 30,000-foot view, and then we can dive into some specifics. So the whole gist of this story is there's an old guy, and he comes.
That's
Is
my
the
neighbor's dog.
is the dog okay?
Yeah,
Sounds like it literally just
he
died.
he yeah, he does that a lot.
Okay. So anyways, so there's this old guy. He comes down to this planet, searching for something, and sorry, and there's a Jedi Master and a Padawan, and the Master feels the disturbance in the Force. They go to this planet, and they go searching for the disturbance, and then they get there. They ask the village folk, like, hey, what's going on? Do you notice anything? And they're like, yeah, this old guy came and he went into the mountains. He, and then so they go up into the mountains after this guy. The Master ends up finding the guy's ship, which is very like, it just screams, I'm a Sith. Like the way it looked, the coloring, like it looked kind of like Kylo's shuttle from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like the only way they could have made it more obvious is if they put like the Sith insignia on the side. So the Master finds the ship, and then the Padawan ends up being the one, after finding a slayed animal, like the predator, like one of the apex predators of the planet. He finds that, and he's talking to his master. His master's like, be careful. And then lo and behold, he turns around, and the old guy's just there. We find out that he has really sweet twin, like Shoto length red katana blades for his lightsabers. And
the red was weird for me.
It was just solid.
Red. It was like, yeah, it was just very different red than we're used to for dark side Sith sabers.
So he takes care of the Padawan pretty quickly. Slashes him right through the gut, like so much so that I definitely remember thinking, well, see you later. Like that. There you go. That's it. Like,
you had a good run.
You had a good one. But then obviously the Master shows up. There's a pretty cool fight scene between the two of them. Come to find out the Padawan's not dead. Padawan distracts the old guy. The Master kills the old guy. And then there's a brief discussion after that of pretty, I don't want to say negligible dialogue, but it's like, I don't know. There wasn't anything crazy heavy there.
Well, the thing is, like, it's implied that this is weeks or months later, because
he had to recover.
Yeah, and so they're just having this conversation now. Like, I don't know. It seemed like this would have been a conversation that they had like right away, early on in the recovery time. So it was just a weird conversation. Just like you said, it was just weird. So
yeah. I looked down at the chat. One thing really quickly that David said: the rain steams off their saber blades. I did think that was really cool.
Yeah,
we can talk about that later. Yeah. So that's kind of the gist of the whole thing. It's kind of implied that this takes place, if it were in the timeline, pre-Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
They did say the Sith have been extinct for hundreds of years. So we're not, we're closer to when they were extinct than when we are in Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
Because it's 1,000 years.
Assuming that the timeline is, because I mean, if it's, I'm not gonna even have that conversation because this doesn't even matter when it comes
just
to
have
the
the
timeline.
Conversation.
I was gonna say that would mean it was a few hundred years after Bane created the Rule of Two.
Yeah.
So, which is super interesting to me.
Well, and the elder did say something along the lines of like they neglected their potential and they fought within themselves ever. So kind of was probably like that Bane stuff where
Yeah.
there was that conflict. So it was loosely. So I was just pictured this, you know, maybe like 200-300 years after Bane. That's just kind of like how I
Pictured it.
envisioned it after he said that. So
Yeah. So the first chunk of this episode, it is like Jeremiah said, is mostly talking. And
then there was the weird thing where like the Padawan's like flirting with the teenage girls. Like,
no, first of all,
it was like weird.
First of all, they're way younger, and two, he's not flirting. He was.
I don't know.
He's trying to be cute with them.
Didn't he wink at him though? Like he was.
Yeah, but it's like a universal sign of.
It translated differently in Japanese.
Dude, it's literally iRobot.
Yeah.
It's the wink in iRobot.
Oh, that's a stretch there, but okay.
Yeah, it's like the same thing where they're like, "Hey, Sonny," it's like a thing real people do between friends. You know, that's what
that is a good movie though.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. So it really starts to pick up when they go up into the mountain. I think visually the things that really stood out to me were obviously the lightsabers, especially for the elder. Really the elders. The other two are kind of just normal looking lightsabers. I liked the master's fighting style. It felt very refined and also very much like he wasn't wasting his movements in a similar way to like old Ben Kenobi when he fights Maul. Obviously not the same, but kind of similar in that like he's a more mature fighter and he's not going to waste his movements. And the big elephant in the room is him turning his saber off and turning it back on, which for me, and Riley has actually mentioned this in the chat, like I would have thought that this would have been a thing way sooner. Like, I don't know, like I feel like that's a legit lightsaber tactic.
Yeah, we don't see that a lot.
It's super risky, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's also the type of thing where I'm like, well, I guess we do see it.
Something else, Rey.
Yeah, in The Last Jedi, she turns it on and like just burns a hole through a dude's face. But you know,
well, that was she threw it to Kylo, and he turned it on to kill the last person. To like punch him in the eye.
Oh yeah, she turns it off and she drops it.
Something like
and
that.
And then picks it up.
Like,
yeah.
It didn't make sense when she dropped it because like she was stuck. But why would dropping it make her? I don't know. That whole scene is janky.
Yeah, David said Kylo did it to Han too. That is not the same thing.
R.I.P.
Shots fired. But I don't know. Like I feel like a well-timed like a saber turn off and turn back on, like if done super, super well, could be like a immediate deciding factor in a duel. And I feel like they could have thrown that into choreography somewhere in canon and made it work.
I just think like someone's like they're like in a lock, like let me try turning it off, and then like they turn it off and just other blade just cuts them right in their face. Like
I mean, you wouldn't do it then.
I know, but I'm just saying like someone's like trying to be all fancy and like I don't know.
Yeah, it would more so be for like you're feigning a strike and the person anticipates blocking your lightsaber, but then the blade's not there. Like it would be great if you wanted to get them off balance or use, depending on the momentum of the fight. Like I think it could be a really good, really well done and really cool move should it be used. But again, it's also extremely dangerous. It's like one of those things. It's like, why don't Force users ever turn other people's lightsabers off with the Force? You know?
Yeah.
Which I know that there's multiple discussions about that.
Ahsoka did it to an Inquisitor.
Yeah. There's also in the Bane novels like a whole thing about having a force barrier around you when you're in a fight like that. And basically like the way that they describe it in those novels is like all of the things that we would be like, yeah, just use the Force for this, it just nulls it.
Well, that's
It's like null and void.
what
But
something
anyways,
that like George Lucas said after the fact about the Obi-Wan versus Vader in Episode 4. Like, obviously they're bound by technology to like have
yeah,
an epic fight, but like his kind of like cop out was that like your Force abilities are negated in a sense when
yeah,
you're so like they're both masters in their own respect, and so their ability to use the Force like cancel each other out, and so they're actually less powerful in a sense because they were so powerful, they couldn't do all these backflips and spins and stuff. And
in the Bane novels, it was interesting because they touched on the fact that like you have two people when they were training in the Sith Academy, right? Like they're all Force sensitive, and they're all relatively powerful, and they both have precognition. So it's just this never ending like
Nothing
it
never
would potentially,
happens because they're just
yeah, it would be this
predicting
never
each
ending like,
other.
oh, like they're just one after the other. But
Yeah.
it at that point actually comes down to their physical skill, like their skill with the blade,
right,
and also how well that they can tap into the Force and just basically be used by the Force to guide their movements too. And
Yeah.
so I get what he's saying to a certain extent. It's like when you have two super powerful people with telekinetic abilities and
well, yeah, and we also see that in Revenge of the Sith where Anakin and Obi-Wan are trolling their blades, and that for a brief second they're not
yeah,
hitting. Like
Yeah,
people
they're just
like bash that, but if you think about it, it's because they're so they can anticipate the other person's abilities so well. They know that I'm not going to go here because I know they're going to go here, and they're both doing it at the same time, so they never hit their blade for a few seconds, and then they're like, "Oh crap, we're kind of not hitting him," and then
yeah,
they lock. But
yeah. I really appreciate that about the novels. When they touch on the behind the scenes, like what the Jedi or the Sith or whoever is feeling and what they're able to see, because like there are definitely conversations where like there'll be a lightsaber duel and they're like they can see the moves coming and the Force guided their blades and all these things, but like when you're watching a movie, it's just they're just going like, and they're clashing and they're spinning and doing all these things, but it's like people don't understand that there's actually a lot more going on underneath the surface. But anyways, so the fight scene in The Elder, I thought was cool that he used the lightning. He used Sith lightning as well as kind of his final main attack. Because I'm pretty sure one of his lightsabers gets knocked out of commission, right?
yeah, he disarms it and then he throws it in the air and then cuts it in half.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
I'm like, why would you throw it in the air? He could just force pull it back to him. Like,
yeah, I mean, there were some cool moments. It was a very stylized fight, you know. But I did think it was cool that the final fight happens in the rain.
yeah, that was cool.
That was very anime.
Sure.
The Masters, I'm looking at the scene right now. The Masters fighting style looks like super traditional Japanese swordsmanship too. It looks like it's taken a lot of influences from like samurai sword styles. Yeah, the fight itself is really cool. Yeah, I just watched that where he throws it and then like keeps eye contact with the Elder the whole time and then slices it in half when it comes down.
flexing on him.
Yeah. So I mean, it's cool. I really like his lightsaber. The way his green lightsaber looks, it's really cool.
Colors
Reminds me
on
of
their
Luke's.
sabers are pretty intense. Like
Yeah,
even like the Padawan when it was blue, it was like very bright blue, like
yeah,
glowy, which was that was kind of cool.
yeah. So he shoots the force lightning a few times, and the Master strikes. He's holding it off with the force lightning, and then that's when the Padawan's lightsaber comes in, distracts him. Come to find out, the Padawan's not in two pieces. Turns off his lightsaber. Shpoop. Very cool looking move. It was a short fight. So,
Yep.
But it was good. It was really good. I mean, like to be fair, like actual sword fights in real life in Japan, I would say, because obviously that's not the standard everywhere else, but a lot of times they were not long.
No,
Like the scene, Drew, you've seen Seven Samurai, right?
correct.
Have you seen the scene where the two guys are facing off, like when they're going out and they're pulling everybody together, and there's two guys in a duel, and there's like some village people around them, and they're like near a
Yeah.
barn or something, and they literally stand still for like it seems like it's like 2 or 3 solid minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of them changes his stance, and then it's literally over in like a split second. Like that's actually
Yeah.
that was much more realistic than the anime fight scenes we see today. And
It's
so
almost like a duel with like guns, like
yeah, oh yeah,
old, like a
100%,
cowboy. It's like one shot kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
and that's, I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week. I think it was last week when we went over this a little bit, but it's kind of like the last scene of how Maul dies by Obi-Wan. It's kind of like the same thing. Like
yeah,
that's how Dave Filoni kind of did that. He didn't want a giant intense scene. He wanted a traditional one hit, like, because he's
yeah,
so far better than Maul was at that point in time that he was
yeah.
able to just be done with it. So
Yeah, and this scene where he turns off his lightsaber, kind of drops into it and then reignites it, reminds me a lot of that. Where it's like, I got my opening, boom, here we go, we're done. So
yeah.
all in all, really cool episode. It's kind of sad because I don't really have a ton to say other than that.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. None of these episodes were bad for me.
True.
Jeremiah just nods. he's saving his thoughts. All right, so let's before we move on to Lop and Ocho, let's take a quick moment. For those of you that might not know, we are being sponsored and partnering with cufflinks.com yet again. Yeah. So let's take a quick moment and listen to a word about them, so you can learn a little bit more about them and get acquainted with them or reacquainted with them, depending on how long you've been listening, because we've got a lot of really exciting things dealing with them coming up. So let's just take a quick break and listen to that right now. What's up, everyone? Andrew here with a word from the sponsor of today's episode, cufflinks.com. If you didn't know, cufflinks.com is the premium accessories marketplace, and they offer a wide range of products, including but not limited to ties, cufflinks, jewelry, and much more. The awesome thing about cufflinks.com is that they've partnered with popular brands like Star Wars to bring you exclusive, officially licensed products. Their products are designed in a way that's great looking and fun, which means you can support your favorite fandom and look good doing it. Want to snag something awesome for yourself or someone else? Try using the code EMPIRE20, that's with a capital E and no space at checkout, to receive 20% off your next order with no minimum purchase. Still not convinced? Well, cufflinks.com offers outstanding customer service, 1 to 5 day delivery anywhere in the United States, and free shipping on all orders over $100. Want to feel like 1,000,000 credits in your next outfit? Head on over to cufflinks.com. Do it. They got some really cool stuff coming out. They're releasing this fall. It's going to be great. And like in the past, when we partnered with cufflinks.com, we're going to be doing giveaways again, but they're going to be different this time. So there's no more, I'll probably say this like 14 or 15 more times. So just, if you already heard it, you know the drill, but there's no more like, hey, go to this link, click on the boxes and go check us out on Facebook and do all this stuff, 8 times in a row. Because once you do it the first time, let's be real, you don't need to do it again. It's just to win the stuff. But this time we have some really creative giveaway ideas. It's gonna be very contest based, and it's gonna require your input, your creative work, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, so if it's going to take effort to win, like
it actually is.
put towards effort. It's not really a drawing. It's a it's a contest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
And when are we launching that?
I believe I have to quick look, but I think we announced the first giveaway on November 2nd, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, coming
it's
up.
the first week of November. Yeah.
And so the winner would be announced on the 9th. And
Yep.
so then we do that every Tuesday. I think the last announcement for giveaway is the 7th of December.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think we have
So-
five giveaways. Is that what
Yep.
it is?
And while they are going to require work. However, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So we're not going to ask you to like, hey, who can go out and build the best suit of clone trooper armor in a week? Like, we're not going to do that. It's not going to be like super tedious. Like, you have to spend thousands of dollars or build, a cosplay outfit or something. But it's going to be really fun. Some of the fun will come at our expense. So if you've been waiting to pick on us, maybe you'll have your chance. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. It's going to make voicemail time great.
Yeah. Maybe all of November is just going to be the voicemails for all the submissions.
Yeah.
So
I looked down.
excited.
Riley says, "Is there a reward for being the chat's best gonk enthusiast?" No,
But
unless you can
Yay.
use that quality of yourself to good work in one of the contests, then yes, there would be a reward.
I
if you
mean,
do
I
the
could
best.
see that being interwoven into some of these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, get pumped for that. More information coming very, very soon because obviously time is flying by so quickly. It's nuts. Like we're 3 weeks away from that.
yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah. Let's move on to Lop and Ocho as Jeremiah is smirking. All right, Jeremiah. So
Go first.
Lop and Ocho, what did you think?
So this is the one that opened up with the cool Star Destroyer scene, right?
Correct.
Where it comes in and turns.
Yes.
I'm like,
Kinda-
oh man,
Kind of
this
feels
is-
like Rogue One-ish.
this is gonna
kinda.
be super cool. Like I already like the animation, how they did the 3D turn, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is great. And then I didn't care about the rest of the episode.
Oh no.
What?
So
Not at all.
there is.
Wow.
We are not emotionally connected to any of the characters in this episode at all.
I mean,
Like,
to be fair,
Uh,
this episode was
20 minutes.
it's
20
one of the
minutes.
longer episodes.
I mean that
Sure
yeah.
it is.
And like, I'm gonna talk about the Village Bride. Like, we get emotionally connected to all the characters, and there's minimal talking. It's very
By
simple,
the way,
straightforward.
if you haven't seen last week's episode,
Go check it out.
Jeremiah literally gave us a presentation. So if you haven't done anything, listen to the audio, but definitely go back and watch the video version on YouTube because his presentation is there.
Yes.
And you can follow along.
But also, I feel emotionally attached to Lop and Ocho this episode.
Okay. Well, let me finish my little thing spiel. But like,
Yeah, Drew, his spiel.
it's so like, there's so much stuff going on very quickly because like the first 5 minutes is just her getting found by the dad and daughter.
Well, I mean, it's
And,
also
like-
explaining the planet.
Well, I get that, so there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
But then this is fast forward 7 years, and the dad like commits like a terrorist attack in the thing, and then like the daughter turns like to the Empire, and like he lasted like, here's this saber that you didn't know we had, and here it is, and Lapa is the rabbit chick, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she like
Loppy.
He says the rabbit chick.
the bunny chick. What do you want me to?
Yeah,
Just
that's
say
fine.
the rabbit person. You don't have to use the word
So-
chick.
And then so she learns about this lightsaber for the first time and the history of the family's history, and she happens to know how to use the Force at the end of the episode. Like, what? Where did that come from? I was like, was her ability to jump really good because she was a bunny, or is it because she could Force jump really well,
or both.
like I didn't get it. And then like her, like when the sister turns to the Empire and goes evil, like Like, okay, like I get what
all
she's
sisters do.
I get why she's like trying to like save her family and save her people, but like no, I don't care. Like there's no investment in these
Wow.
characters.
Okay.
And the bunny chick just took me out of it too. Like this is a good random bunny. Like that's a character. Like I didn't like that style of character.
Bro, welcome to anime.
I get that.
Also, not the first time we've seen Bunny in Star Wars lore, but you know, each his own. If you
Yeah,
don't
I
like
would
it.
say I guess I wasn't taken aback too hard by the bunny
Me
because
either.
they're a literal, like, I haven't seen it, but Drew Beastars,
Mhm.
like literally all of the characters are talking humanoid animals.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense if it's like all the people or characters
Well,
are.
I understand what you're saying, Jeremiah, but there's literally a EU comic book that the main character is a bunny who hangs out with Lando, and they just released a Black
that's the
figure of
EU.
it. This is
Don't
kind of the
don't.
EU too. Like this doesn't matter either. You know what I mean? It's the
Anyways,
same.
I respect what you're saying though.
I I understand what you're saying, Jeremiah, but I disagree with probably like over 50% of it.
I'm
Because
here
first of
for
all, I felt like I was very into the character. It made sense why she didn't know anything about the lightsaber because she wasn't the one that was supposed to get the lightsaber because she was adopted. Her sister, who turned bad, was supposed to get it. So she wasn't even supposed to know about it really because it didn't really matter to her. So it made sense why they kind of kept it a secret.
Yeah.
Because her dad was also trying to keep it a secret from the Empire. So they didn't want the Empire to take it. So it's like the daughter knew because she grew up knowing about it. And then they adopted this bunny because of the Empire rule. She doesn't even know about it. Why does she need to know about it? You know? That makes sense.
I don't think that makes sense because the whole episode is about the family identity, and that character doesn't know anything about this family at all.
Because I feel like she was like part of the family, but like not fully integrated.
Yeah,
And I
but
think that was like kind of told by how her sister didn't really fully integrate her either, like saying like that doesn't belong to you, like
that
you know what I mean?
I
Like
don't think that's true because they were really good, close BFFs as sisters. That's what it was implied at the beginning of the episode, and then the father even says something like, I apologize if I treated you at all like a second class thing, but like it was very like, yes, you have always been my daughter. Like he might not have been,
but
like
yeah,
forward with that, but
by him not being forward, that's probably why he didn't tell her about the lightsaber.
I can understand maybe the lightsaber, but the whole entire family story and origin and why they are who they are, like
Sure. That
I
yeah,
don't know.
but maybe he always never really fully saw her as a daughter until his daughter was no longer his daughter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like not knowing what he had until
And I don't have a daughter, so I don't see anybody as my daughter.
well, you have a cat named Chico.
He's a male cat.
True. Well,
Well, Andrew, where's your presentation on why I'm wrong about?
Oh, there's no presentation. I thought.
Andrew's having a
I look
baby
down.
now?
Andrew's
Wow.
having a baby on all caps. Andrew is not having a baby. Anyways, okay. I remember watching this and being like, okay, just being kind of like, okay. I looked down at Teddy about twins. No, I'm not having any children. Me saying I'm not having a baby is not implying that I'm having more than one baby. There's no babies,
No kids.
no kids. It was just like it finished. I was like, okay, there. I mean, that was a thing. I watched it and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I don't even know. Like it's really funny. Like I didn't dislike it, but I also didn't like overly like it either. It was just like meh. It was just like right down the middle, meh for me. I will tell you.
Did you like the saber though? With
Yes.
the writing
The
on
hilt.
it?
Well,
The
I was
hilt
gonna
fire.
say what I was gonna say is visually, this episode is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the way that they stylistically, like the village that they're in or the city that they're in, reminds me a lot of the Hidden Leaf Village from Naruto, where it's like there's like a ton of Japanese styling, but there's like these really modern or technological like elements to it. There's a scene that I'm looking at right now where she's like running through. She's initially running away, and there's like an Aqualish, and there's a Gran and like a human, but they're all wearing like traditional Japanese like outfits. But obviously, there's like lights and piping and wires, and it's just like very like it. There's a lot of anime that capture that fusion of like the Neo Japan, Neo Tokyo type vibe, and I loved that. I really liked the droid. I loved her droid companion. And I think visually, this was this was a striking episode visually. Like in the beginning, when they're going through and they're talking about what is it, Taro is the planet.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, like the Star Destroyer crashes into the ocean. Like that's beautiful. Or excuse me, Tau, not Taro, Tau. But then there's like they show a shot of like the wilderness, and then it zooms in over the city, and the Star Destroyer is hovering there, and it's like, dude, this is beautiful. The artwork
Well,
is.
it kind of reminds me of like Sword Art Online. I don't know if you guys ever seen that.
Yeah,
anime.
I've seen the first like 2 or 3 seasons for sure.
Yeah, like
It's been a
in the
while, though.
game, while they're in the game, especially when they turn fairies, that part of season 1,
Yeah,
or maybe
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
technically part 2. I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
they lay it out.
It
But-
also looks like the Magic School Bus too.
No, it
What?
does not.
No.
It was
This
a joke
art-
making fun of Drew
Oh,
from what he said earlier.
Bro, I
Nah.
was gonna die on that hill. I was like, no, this
It
is
does
dude.
not.
This
This looks Japan. This looks like anime. Like this
Dude,
looks
like,
like a good
this-
anime.
you could almost take,
The smoke in it.
and I would wager that you could almost jump to any spot in this episode and screenshot it as a desktop wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like that's how good the artwork is from my perspective. Like I
Now-
love the way this looks.
Now,
Now-
this is
now
weird.
Wait, what?
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say the one thing that kind of brought me out of this episode is her over 9,000 glass. That's- It took me out of it a
it's
little bit.
Star
I was
Wars.
like,
it was a little weird. I didn't.
no, it's not Star Wars. It was Dragon Ball Z. I was like,
I mean,
it's kind
I
of
was
weird.
I was thinking more like the game Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That's a good one. That's a masterpiece.
But in Dragon Ball Z, they literally have it looks the exact same color, and then like reads. I'm like, it's kind of.
yeah.
I was like talking to my brother, and I'm like, okay, what is she gonna scan to see if they're over 9,000? Like, I'm kind of confused. What's going on?
Yeah, I will say artistically, this is a just breathtaking episode. Story wise, not so much. it just felt really rushed to me because like
Yeah.
I think if there had been like maybe a quick montage of them growing up and in like establishing, because like when we see him as kids, like this, Ocho is like super excited to have a sister.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they grow up and she's like, I'm going to side with the Empire. And I'm a moody, like a young adult who.
How did you feel about her biting her finger and doing the thing on her eyes?
It was whatever.
Seemed
I was
like
like,
she
all right.
became a mean girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like the story I think had potential, but then I also kept reminding myself that like they're having to do this in the constraints of
20 minutes.
a short film. Yeah. Could it have been executed better to show more of that dynamic between the two sisters? Yeah. I think I think they could have taken the intro part about Tao and like explaining everything and just like put that in as kind of like like in a conversation, like, what the Empire's been doing since they landed. Like they've been exchanging, this for our freedom and all these things. Like they could have just said that and I've been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And they could have taken more time to give like a montage showing them growing up, showing the bond, like showing the father. Cause like instead we get in a conversation later where he like was like, I wasn't a good dad to you, blah, 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 blah. But we don't see any of that. So it's like, also now we're now just coming down to this realization, 7 years later, now you're going to come around and just be like, oh, here's a lightsaber. like I don't know. Jeremiah, I get what you're saying about the lack of investment. I guess for this. So I apologize to everyone who is, who are huge
Bunny fans.
but stop lopping Ocho fans. That's what I was gonna
I
say.
liked it. This is in my top 5. I liked it.
Oh dang!
Wow.
I think the story, I don't know, for me kind of makes sense. I don't know. It didn't take me out of it that much. The animation alone, the art style and everything brought me more invested into it. So like I'm able to push some of the quickness aside because of how pretty it is. Like it is breathtaking. And in Japanese, it reads better than it does in the dub version. Like
Oh, I refuse to
so
watch the dub versions of
yeah.
these episodes. Like I can't do it.
At least do the Village Bride. Okay, that one's really good.
I don't know.
Okay, the voices they do it different because the guy in the Village Bride has the helmet on, the explorer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in the dub version, he has a different voice when he has a helmet on and when he has it off.
Uh-huh.
But in the Japanese version, it's the same voice. Nothing changes when he takes the helmet off.
Yeah, it's fine. I can deal with that. I just I'm the type of person that will straight up, if an anime was made to be streamed in English, I will turn Japanese on and the subtitle. I will go out of my way. I don't know what it is. It's not a superiority thing. I know people be like, "Oh, this flex, he's flexing."
But it is
blah
a
blah blah.
superiority thing because it's what you prefer. You're saying it's superior to the other version.
Experientially, yes. I don't
So
know.
it is a superiority thing.
There's just I don't know, hearing Naruto and Sasuke yell each other's names in Japanese is a completely different experience than hearing it in English.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true.
And it's weird. Especially when you're listening in English, but they keep the "Oh, what's up, Drew Kun," or Sakura-chan or something, and it's this isn't this shouldn't you shouldn't be tagging that on
yeah.
in English, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird for me, but I will say, for the record, I think this was maybe my favorite episode stylistically.
Really? More than the duel?
I think the duel takes it because of nostalgia, but when I look at everything as a whole,
Yeah.
dude, I just paused on this shot of the city.
Oh,
There's just
yeah.
buildings, but it's it's gorgeous, and there's
Or when she's
so much
flying
detail.
over, when she's gliding there too,
Yeah.
the night, and even when they are having that confrontation with the Empire and there's smoke everywhere,
Yeah.
it's very it's really good.
And the animation is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that a lot. So, anyways, so really quickly, the gist of this story is that there's this world named Tau, and it's basically it's like a paradise world. And the Empire steps in and they're like, "Hey, we'll help you out. We'll give you industry and we'll industrialize everything and make you wealthy." And then the fine print is "Yeah, but we're gonna make you slaves," which is what they always do. So we cut to Lop, who is the quote bunny chick, as Jeremiah said, and she
Kind of
gets
reminds me of Aladdin-ish,
I could see that, yeah.
her, and it makes sense.
She gets taken in by this family.
It becomes a whole new world. Oh,
Yep.
hit the button.
I don't have it.
Doesn't
Oh.
Burr, 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 burr.
That was good. Okay.
What, Jeremiah?
was
What's
good.
more important, the button for the burr, burr, burrs or voicemails?
Well, my joke was pretty good, so.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, so she gets taken in by the dad, who is a local. He's the head of a local family, a pretty prominent
Yeah,
family.
It's called a dad.
No, but a local, a regal
clan.
family.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So then they have a 7-year jump. Come to find out, the dad is fed up with the Empire and he's pushing back against the Empire. He literally just carried out an attack against the Empire, and his daughter Ocho, his biological daughter, is like we need to embrace the Empire because like fighting them is
Never gonna work.
it's worthless, and also they'll bring us money, they'll bring us prosperity and wealth and all this stuff.
And I like the guy. I feel like she had a little crush on
Maybe the super scene looking dude.
the guy that had like the hair
Yeah,
weird cut on the side.
he looked like he could have
Yeah.
been like the front man of like an Asking Alexandria or like
Mhm.
one of those
What's
types of
that one
bands.
name? What's that one band from Europe? He looks like he could be the head. Doesn't matter.
The 1975.
Yeah.
He could be in the 1975 too. Yeah. Anyways, so right after this attack, she's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And her and Lop are driving away in a speeder that looks strangely similar to the one that Han had in Solo.
True.
And she
Even
just
that
defects.
scene.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene. And then she's like, all right, I'm going with the Empire. See you later. And Lop's just like, she runs away and she's heartbroken, and the dad's heartbroken. And then the dad's like, I need to go confront my daughter. Also, we have a lightsaber that we've been passing down through the generations since the Jedi left it here, however many hundreds of years ago. And you're now the successor of our family because you have the right heart. Essentially, like you're the actual heir of this family because you care about the right things. You care about her family. I'm gonna go confront her and with some of my boys.
Tell her the good news.
Yeah. And then basically he and the guys get there. They're fighting with her and her troops, and then Lop shows up and she's like, I have the family sword. And she's like, no, I should have gotten it. I'm the rightful heir. And then they have a fight, and then she's the second person in this series that gets cut, and I'm like, that should have killed her. But she gets cut by the lightsaber. Ocho does, and she falls. But surprise, there's
Isn't
a
it
ship there.
like an X across the chest?
Yeah.
It's like double.
She gets fricked, and then she falls, and then all of a sudden there's a ship. Surprise, and it rises up, and she literally is like flying away on the ship, standing on top of it, and has just two huge gashes straight across her chest in an X. But obviously, all of this is happening in one of the most beautiful settings in an anime that I've seen recently. So,
Also, Andrew, you should go to 11 minutes and 15 seconds and push pause. And I mean, that's, if you're listening, go do that because it's just Lop's eyes, but they're so pristine. The art
dude,
is so amazing.
Good.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Does it look smooth?
Yeah.
You could say that.
I would say that.
I did enjoy the fight though, even though I wasn't invested in it. It was still a cool fight.
Yeah, it was a really cool fight.
Good.
I liked how Ocho had a 3-section staff, like the Star Wars equivalent of that. Her father had these like really crazy looking size, which are like, it was like a weird combination between like a sai but also like a katana blade almost. So they definitely pulled from some historical weapons for the influences on these. And then obviously the cool thing is the lightsaber has, I'm trying to find a still shot of it, but the lightsaber has an inscription on it, like on the blade, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Like on the lightsaber blade, which doesn't really make sense. If you go to 1711.
1711, thank you. Hold on, I started jumping around too much, and now I've got the little scrolly wheel of death on Disney Plus. But but the hilt is a really cool design as well. It felt like very steampunk samurai.
I would buy that hilt if it was at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of we've gone a lot deeper into it than I thought we would, but that's kind of the gist of the whole story. I would say visually, if nothing else, if you're going to go watch it for the visuals, definitely do that.
I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, but I
all these are worth watching.
Oh yeah,
this is really good.
So do you think that they will make a second episode? Because they left it wide open.
This could be a second
This one
episode. I think as
probably.
a pair, I'd like it better as a set.
Oh, if there's another one, yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
should
think
make
I'd like it better.
They should make like a prequel so like we can get emotionally invested in the characters.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah. I I've seen I look down in the chat and I see a Dom reference. There's nothing more powerful than family. So that's great. So yeah, that's anything else about Lop and Ocho?
Nope.
Nope.
Except there's cool trees in there too.
You talking about like the cherry blossom?
Yeah, it's freaking dope as heck.
Dude, I'm telling you.
So the more I watch this, like I'm watching it right now, chat and listeners, and the more I watch it, the more I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is I like, dude, this is
I
a
love the art
gorgeous
style.
episode. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like I can almost forgive everything else we've talked about just because of the art. Like, dude,
Correct.
there's a shot at 18 minutes and 16 seconds where it's just like them fighting, and then you see the cherry blossoms in the background. It's just
Oh, even when they were fighting before that, it all went black except for them.
yeah,
It was such a cool,
yeah,
unique
yeah.
art style. Like everything went black except for the people fighting. It made you more invested. Like you're watching them. Like you're not getting
for
distracted
sure.
by anything behind it. You're watching them move around, and then after that shows this amazing scenery behind them as well. And so
Yeah.
like it makes you focus on the fight, but then also like makes you also focus on what's going on behind it because it blacked it out for a little bit. It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, Jeremiah, has your opinion changed? Any final thoughts?
Well, now that you're like mentioning like the animation style, I might have to go back and just pay more close attention to the animation style because I've only watched it twice, and like I don't remember it being, other than the Star Destroyer at the opening, I don't remember it being the most, and like it was good, but I wasn't like outstanding for me. So I don't know.
Just try to forget about the Village Bride for like 5 seconds. Watch it. Jump around even.
I'm gonna say okay. Here's a hot take, Jeremiah.
Oh no.
Visually, this was far superior than the Village Bride.
100%.
I
don't think that's a hot of a take.
If they had somehow fused this animation and aesthetic and the storytelling of the Village Bride, it might have been the perfect episode. Like 10,000 out of 10,000 for me. So
okay,
yeah. You know what else is always perfect for me, guys?
10,000 out of 10,000
every time. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell us.
Oh, I am. It's Wesley Andrews coffee. Every single time, every time you brew a cup, it's 10,000 out of 10,000 guaranteed. Unless you don't do it right, and somehow you like burn it or you ruin it.
Yeah.
Even ruin Wesley Andrews coffee is still going to be better than Folgers. Hot take, but it's true.
True.
So it just so happens that they're the second sponsor of today's episode, and let's just go ahead and take a quick break and listen to a word from them. Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. I've never had a bad experience with their coffee, and I am willing to bet, not any money, because that's reckless. But I'm willing to bet whatever you can think of on the fact that you'll enjoy it as well. So, yeah.
All right.
I just looked down at the chat and Daddy Pop says, "Yo, I'll buy Rule of Two Rule of Two, if it's roasted."
Well, I haven't worked in 6 weeks, but I'll get on that.
Okay, there's our confirmation.
Yeah, Riley.
right.
Message Drew and tell him that.
If you would like a bag of our special Star Wars themed, we would have to redesign the packaging for that, wouldn't we?
No, we have
Okay.
enough of the old bags. We can just redo it.
Okay, that's good. I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
We don't do that packaging anymore, but we can. We
I
still have
definitely know a
of
lot
them
more
where it
about
can still do
Photoshop
it.
now, but
Weird flex, but okay. I bet
Well,
you that second monitor helps you too, huh?
stop. But literally, for those of you that don't know, the first time I ever opened Photoshop, literally the first time I ever opened it on a computer ever, me personally, was when I helped design that packaging for the Rule of Two. So if you're looking to get some really cool Star Wars themed coffee that we did as a collaboration with Wesley Andrews,
As long as you don't tell Disney.
Don't tell
got
Disney.
you.
Just send Drew a message on Discord, Instagram. If you don't have Discord, 1, what are you doing? You need to join. 2, if for some reason you can't, shoot us a message on Instagram or on Facebook or something, and we'll make it happen. All right, Jeremiah, you look like you're holding back a joke or something, like
No,
a
I'm
roast
just,
or something.
I'm just nervous about this next
The
episode.
joke is the next one.
Well, here we go. Akakiri.
Ooh, say that again. Say that again.
Akakiri.
Ooh.
I can't say it without emphasizing the
Kiri part.
The way it would be said in Japanese, because if I do it, I'm like Akakiri.
That's
and
how
it sounds
I would
like
say
it just sounds like too southern.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So Akakiri, the final episode of Star Wars Visions, the final one we're talking about, and I'm wondering now, based on what Jeremiah is saying, if it's going to be the most hated one of them all for the Empire Radio podcast. So let's just dive in, Jeremiah. Let us hear what you thought.
This is my least favorite episode of the whole season.
Okay, that was a lot more gentle than I thought it was going to be.
And I know a lot of people in the Discord would agree with me too. So
I agree with you too. It's on my bottom of my list.
So let me just tell the story of me watching this episode.
Please do.
When the season dropped, I had something I had to do in the morning first thing, so I had to wake up bright and early. So I didn't have time to watch anything. But I did turn on. I was like looking at the episode lengths and blah blah blah, and I saw this was 13 minutes. I was like, all right, this is the first one I'm gonna watch. It's only 13 minutes. Because the other 13-minute
one. You watched this one first?
I watched this one first.
Oh Lord!
And so this one and Tatooine Rhapsody was also 13 minutes. So I was like, okay, I already know what Tatooine Rhapsody is going to be kind of about. I'm not excited to watch that, whatever. So I chose this 13-minute episode, and I thought it was janky.
Janky.
Like, okay,
the first half is trash.
Here's the good part. I'll say I enjoyed 90% of the animation. I thought it was really cool. I liked the rain, the cool stylization of the rain scene. Thought that was cool. I kind of liked the Final Fantasy giant chicken things that were running around. Those were pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it reminded me of Chocobo.
Yeah, Chocobo.
Yeah,
from Final Fantasy. So
yeah.
So visually it was really good, but I didn't like the visualization of the lightsabers moving.
Oh,
it was like here, and then it was like 2 feet over, and then another 2 feet over, and it was like looked weird.
It's very, very heavily stylized. Yeah.
And
everyone has a big head. Is that what you're gonna say?
Also with this episode, I didn't care about the characters. I was not invested at all. Because like there's so much going on. Like I can tell there's so much going on, but it's only 13 minutes, and there's so much because nothing was told other than just one little flashback scene, and like the Sith lady, it reminded me of one of the Inquisitors from Fallen Order, like the big
Yeah.
Inquisitor chick.
Yeah.
It reminded me of her, kind of just kind of like that, like personality. But I just didn't care.
Okay. That's fine.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Drew, since you agree with me, this is the worst episode. What are your thoughts?
So my thing is there's a couple things that kind of always brought me out while I was watching this. One, the main girl's big head.
She
shaped
looked like
weird.
someone. She looked like someone. I don't know who it is. Some actress or someone I went to school with or something.
I don't
Just
know.
that head shape
But
and like facial.
it was like
it looked like someone.
Super thin, like thin face, but then giant bobblehead thing with no eyebrows. I swear, and like it kind of brought me out of it. Like, oh, she has eyebrows, but you can barely see them. And then the guy's hat. The guy's hat was so ugly. Like, what kind of Jedi has a hat that looks like he was just like in a cornfield? Like, no. So the hat always distracted me. And the other girl, like the other character, her hair was like straight and then down. I just feel like anytime, like the flashback I'm talking about, but like anytime you see like the characters, they're just so ugly, it brings me out of it. But I do like what Jeremiah was saying, like the rain scene's really cool. Like there's certain backgrounds in the art style is really cool, but then like when you zoom into the characters, like none of them have noses, and they all have like a square, thin jaw, and then giant, big old foreheads. And I'm like, they look like aliens to me. I don't know.
What do you think about the two Stooges in this episode?
It reminded me a lot of like the two guys from Mulan, kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Like the skinny dude and the fatter dude, like kind of reminded me of Mulan. And the only character that looks like decently drawn is the bad girl. Like,
Really?
I think she looks like
she
an
looked
Amazon woman guy thing. Like she looks like she doesn't.
Oof.
Yeah. But she actually looks like a drawing. Like she has a nose, she has eyes that look like they should be there. Like, and she has she has nicer hair. She doesn't look like, I don't know. Because even when they do the zoom up with the sword fight in the beginning, like it shows both their face. The Jedi looks like he just got ran over by a car, and the other one looks like she has a face.
Dang.
That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm going pretty hard on these people, but I just don't. I did not. It was hard for me to watch this episode and not keep staring at their face. And I don't think that's a good thing when it comes to animation. Like, if I'm distracted by someone's like look to the point where like I can't watch it because I just get so distracted by the art style of a drawing, I don't watch it. Like, there's some Adult Swim like content out there, like animation drawing cartoons, that I can't watch because like, not because it's not funny, it's because I don't like the way it looks, and so I just don't watch it. You know what I mean?
Dude, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Hate the way that looks. It's one of the Adult Swim shows. It used to be on like way back in the day. When like watching Adult Swim, I felt super rebellious when I was in like middle school. It's like, haha, suck it, my parents. Like, I'm watching Adult Swim, and then that show will come on, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, like
This
it's
is
not worth
stupid.
watching.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it kind of like, when I was watching it, it's like it kind of sometimes reminds me of Samurai Jack art style, like the characters kind of like, and that made me kind of like it. But then most of the time I just was like, the girl's head. Oh, it's not. The story is kind of cool-ish.
Yeah, the
parts of
story.
it.
If it was longer, if it was a 20-minute episode,
Yeah.
they could have definitely made it where we would be more invested in the characters.
Well, especially the Jedi, because like the Jedi, we didn't really get him till like halfway in, and then you start getting the flashbacks about him and stuff like that. So like, if we had more story with him, because half of the beginning of it is them just like on those birds walking around. Like that's half of the. That's like And you find out one. Yeah, I don't know. Andrew,
Tell us why this is one of your favorite ones. Let's
tell
go.
us why this year number 2.
I loved this episode.
Oh,
What?
gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, okay, so coming into the recording of this, I was not prepared to say that. It was going to be the opposite. And then I literally pulled it up and
And then, and as I was talking trash about it,
as you guys were talking about everything, I realized that I really enjoyed this episode.
Oh,
Way more than I thought I would. So I love the animation style.
yeah, we don't really. Well, Drew disagrees with what like the fate how people look like, but
I don't
I agree.
mind
The
that.
style overall, I think, is
Like literally, I love everything about the animation style. I
that
like
girl's
this,
forehead.
bro. I like the way that people look in this more than I do the Elder. Like hands down for me.
I like that the style of anime more, but I don't like the drawing of the people more.
I love it. I look because for me it was refreshing. It was like, oh, this is kind of wonky, but in a good way. Like the people looked weird and the movements looked kind of weird, but in a good way. There were times that it reminded me of the anime style of Samurai Champloo. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Nope.
Dude, Samurai Champloo is super good, super good. I
If
know
it looks
Jeremiah
like
hadn't.
this, I don't know if I would watch it. But.
It's not the same, but like I would say there were a few shots that I was like, oh, this reminds me of Samurai Champloo. I don't know. There's something about this that I just love artistically.
You like the guy's hat?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, like, it's not any worse than like some of the other hats we've seen in anime or some of the other outfits.
I'm
like,
okay, but through all these episodes,
I mean, like, sure, whatever.
Didn't the guy in the duel have a hat on? Like a straw hat at the beginning?
Yeah. But that was like
but it was like 5 seconds too. Like it wasn't long.
Yeah.
Like this guy wore that ugly cowboy hat thing like half the episode. Dude, I'm telling you, that girl's forehead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's so funny.
You're listening. Like, I'm sorry, but
I really like. Oh, I look down. Oh no, it's the droids episode all over again. Here we go. I loved this. I loved the art style. I loved all the little touches that they did. I admit that the Sith lady, her appearance was a little. It wasn't what I was expecting. I'll tell you that much. It looked more like Aztec warrior goddess to me than it did like more rooted in Star Wars.
It kind of reminds me of what's the guy from Moana, the one that Rock played?
Oh yeah,
Maui? It reminds me of
Maui.
Yeah.
Is it Maui?
Maybe, but it reminds me of like him with clothes on. And it was supposed to be a girl. Like
yeah,
like it could be either or. You know, like we're not judging.
It.
Whatever you want to be. That's.
I don't know. There was something about this, like especially the ending, that I just really enjoyed because it didn't end the way you thought it was going to. I straight up remember watching this with my wife and getting to the end and going, "That's it?" Like just being like that's how this is going to end? Are you serious?
How did it end again?
Huh?
He kills the girl on accident.
He kills all of them.
Oh, that too.
But I thought it was I just thought there's like a deeper element to this story that really makes it stand out to me, and it's very reminiscent of Anakin because
there's that.
You know, there's like she uses like dark side magic to put him into a trance. He literally kills all of his friends, all of the people you've known up to this point, including his like past love interest, and then she tricks him into joining her with the dark side so that he can save her and bring her back to life, and then. I'm pretty sure there's like a conversation where she's like, is this how it's supposed to be? And he's like, this is the only way or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm literally trying to.
Like I said, if the episode was longer, like I'd be more emotionally invested. So it is an interesting story that through the whole episode, he's having these flashes
Mm-hmm.
of something, of a like a silhouette of someone that he kills or whatever, and then at the end, that silhouette happens to be the girl that he loved, basically
Yeah.
forbidden love. But like, I
It
don't
is,
know,
and the ending is interesting. How he just like leaves,
because like
like
because
he's
the
bad
this
now technically.
because the Sith lady said this was for foreseen that this was going to happen. Like this will happen. Like you can't stop
Mm-hmm.
it,
Yeah.
and it does happen. And I forget what is the family tree here. Is the girl and the Sith they're sisters or they're from the same
I
house?
think they're
Cousins?
cousins. Yeah. It's I don't. It wasn't as close as like it wasn't as close as like a sibling relationship, but I remember thinking, oh, it's like this is
Because
classic like Hamlet. My uncle has taken over the family house or something. I don't know, that sort of a story. But I don't know. Like I really enjoyed this episode because of all of the subtleties and like how the guy has to he chooses to go back for the girl. You see the scene where the master's like, if you go, like I'm not gonna help you, like I can't help you at all, and he goes, and there's just a humanness to it that I really appreciated, where it's like he's obviously not the most skilled Jedi, he's not, you know, necessarily in tune with his inner balance or anything. Obviously, he's being driven by emotion, and then he screws up, royally screws up, and then he's like, well, this is the only way out now. Like he you can tell he feels trapped, and he's like, I just killed a bunch of people, I've got a chance to save one of them, and the only way to ensure that she lives is if I go with this person, so here we go. Like, I don't know, it felt very human to me, uh and deep in a way that none of the other episodes did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought this to me is more of like a psychological story than it is like something like The Duel, where it was like, oh, this is just action. We're just gonna throw some really cool stylized action at you. This was like, let's see someone's mental and emotional journey,
It
a
was more of a
snapshot of that.
story,
Yeah, yeah.
deeper
This is more
story.
of a drama rather than like an
Yeah.
action adventure type story.
Maybe it's because you watched Squid Game lately, and that's why the mental mind games is
Yeah,
very.
but that's the other thing. Like, I actually really enjoy like even the K dramas that we watch that don't have like, dude, we're watching one right now called Stranger, and it's literally about lawyers, but it's like
Oh,
the
I've seen
story,
I've seen parts of that. Yeah.
bro. The story is so good, and there's so much mystery, and there's so much complexity to the story and to the characters that like, dude, I can't get enough of that stuff. So
You like the really in-depth, intense story arcs.
yeah,
Mm.
I would say this. I think they did a really good job of telling an internal story in the time that they had.
13 minutes.
I guess you I
For
could agree.
me, for
I
me
guess I could agree
personally,
with that too.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say sure it would have been great if this was like 20 minutes long and maybe there was a better fight scene, but like the whole point wasn't the fight scene. Like in hindsight, looking back, like that the action was never the point.
Yeah.
It was this Jedi's fall to the dark side because like just like Anakin, he was trapped. Like he was manipulated, and then he didn't have another way out. He didn't have another option. So I don't know.
I think
I
it would be.
really I really like this one.
I think that like I think I already said it twice talking about this episode, but like if they made it longer, it would have been better, and it would be interesting. Like they could make this into like a 2 movie storyline, or like it's him and his struggle, and he gives up everything to save her life, and he goes to the dark side, and that's how it ends. In the second movie, the girl goes to save his life and gives her life physically away so that he could somehow be saved from the dark side.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, like something like that, where it's the story continues while where the girl does the same sacrifice, where she gives up her life to save him from the dark side.
Yeah.
As long as it's animated by the rabbit one, then I'm down.
The rabbit one.
Then I'm down.
Dude, I don't know. There was something so endearing about the animation for me. Like, the people look super strange. Oh, okay. I know what this reminds me of. Now I know. And actually, before I say something, I want to see if it's the same studio.
Ooh. Well,
Because I just realized, I just made the connection in my mind. There's been something like on the peripheral of my mind, like there's a connection there and I couldn't figure it out. And I just realized what it was. And I want to look this up before I say anything to see if I'm actually right. Who is this? Who is this by? Yeah, of course, it's not actually giving me the studio. It's just giving me all the credits, the actual credits. That's not what I want. Oh, Science Saru. Okay. What else have they done? Because if there's something, I'm sorry, there's something on Netflix that if this is what if they had a hand in it, I would 100%.
is there anime on Netflix?
It's not technically like an anime per se.
There's all kinds of anime on Netflix.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, maybe they didn't. So there's a Netflix series. And it's about, so it's super crazy looking. And I need to look up the name of it because I don't remember. But Scissor 7. There's an anime on Netflix called Scissor 7. And it's like literally about this guy, and like he lives in a world of assassins. Like everyone's an assassin. It's like a job. And the art style reminds me a lot of this Akakiri episode, actually, now that I think about it. So I guess maybe that's why I wasn't taken completely off guard by it, because I had watched Scissor 7 and enjoyed it and been like, this is super crazy and wacky and I love it. I don't know. Anyways, obviously I'm not going to be able to sway you guys, but it is what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew. You swayed me more than you did on droids, so I'll give you that.
Hey, I'll take it.
The story, like towards the end of this thing, the story is kind of really interesting. So
Yeah.
I can give you that.
Yeah.
Now though,
But that forehead though.
Forehead, though,
Ah.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but you did sway me more than you did on droids.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we dive into our rankings?
We should.
All right. How do you guys want to start with the least favorite and go?
Yep. That's
go
what we
forward?
do.
up.
This is how we do it.
Starting
All
from
right.
the bottom.
Now we're here. Okay.
Yep.
Jeremiah, let's start with you.
All right, at number 9.
Yep.
Akakiri.
Me
Okay.
too.
With the southern accent or whatever your American southern accent.
Akakiri.
Akakiri, right?
So that's both of your number 9?
Correct.
All right, number 8. TOB1.
I didn't give my number 9.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
Oh, sorry. I thought we go one person at a time always.
Oh, do we? I thought we'd go back. Oh.
I thought we were going 9998888.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Jeremiah, just go ahead and tell us
we
all.
just do our whole list.
Yeah,
That's what we did with our
Okay.
movie rankings. All the movies we did.
Oh,
All right,
all
go ahead,
straight.
Jeremiah.
So at number 8, TOB1.
mine
Okay.
too.
At number 7, Lapin Ocho.
Okay.
6, The Elder. 5, The Twins. 4, Tatooine Rhapsody.
Ooh, that's pretty high up there.
3, The Duel. 2, The Ninth Jedi. And number 1, of course, you know it, The Village.
You love it.
I definitely support that top 3. That's a good top 3.
True.
Because it's literally the 3 of our number 1s in a different order. So, all right. Drew, you want to go or do you want me to go?
Okay, no, I'll just go.
Okay.
So the first 2 were Jeremiah's first 2.
So 9 and 8.
Yep, 9 and 8.
Okay.
And then I have the Elder for number 7. Number 6, Tatooine Rhapsody. Lapin Ocho for number 5. Number 4, the Twins. And then I have for number 3, the Village Bride. Number 2, the Duel. And then number 1, the Ninth Jedi.
Ninth Jedi. All right. Here we go. My number 9 is going to be The Elder.
Ooh, really?
I'm shaking things up.
Oh, dang.
Number 8 is The Twins.
Wow, what?
Yep.
Sad.
Number 7 is TOB1. Number 6 is Lapin Ocho. I'm going to put...
Well, you're switching it up from your original list at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, I'm having to think about it differently now. So number 9 is The Elder. Number 8 is The Twins. Number 7 is TOB1. Number 6 is going to be Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah, that's my number 6.
Yeah. Number 5 is... Maybe I should actually rewrite these down so I don't get confused.
Oh, come on, Drew, get your list going.
Hey, I did mine.
No, because I thought about everything and I was like, this is definitely gonna change. Okay, so 100% my least favorite is The Elder.
Okay.
Honestly, it's gonna be easier for me to go the opposite way. So number 1 is The Duel. Number 2, my second favorite, is The Ninth Jedi. Number 3 is The Village Bride. Number 4 is Akakiri. Number 5 is Tatooine Rhapsody. Number 6 is The Twins. 7 is Lapin Ocho. 8, TOB1. 9, The Elder.
All right.
So I was trying to do it in reverse. I was like, no, I just need to go my favorite to my least favorite. For some reason, that worked easier for me. So.
All right. So yeah, all of our top 3 are all the same.
Yeah.
But it's in a different order.
Different order.
Those 3, man, those 3 are really tough to beat.
I'm curious to the listeners if you guys want to comment on the YouTube video or send us a voicemail. I want to know what your guys' top 3 is, if it's the same as our top 3. Because, I mean...
Top 3 and your least favorite. That's always...
True. Yeah, that would be fun. You guys put that chat. If you're watching right now, go ahead, type that out. I'm curious because, I mean, us 3, like, we talk a lot about Star Wars, and we kind of start to sway and kind of have the same opinions about a lot of things. And I'm curious to see if all the listeners have the same... Like, not all the same opinions, but we do, like... feed off each other because we're talking so much, so I want to know what other people's opinions are.
I have a hot take for Jeremiah.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Had Akakiri been longer
and
if we had gotten more story,
here we go,
it would have outranked The Village Bride for me.
Okay.
But it can't
that
because
hurts me for you.
Because The Village Bride told a better story in the time.
True.
But
anyways. And those foreheads.
Stop. Leave the foreheads out of this. All right. Well, there you go.
I don't think she had a forehead. I think she had like a 5 head, but okay, whatever.
Okay.
More like a 10.
10 head.
Just go ahead and pick on a fictional character. It's fine.
Hey, as long as it's not fictional. It's fictional, not...
Yeah. We're not making fun of a real person, so it's okay.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of making fun of people, you guys want to do voicemails?
We're not.
What?
I don't know.
Hey, Drew. When Miles was born, was his head all squished long and like skinny?
Nope.
Like, no, it was perfectly proportioned.
Perfectly round. He had a C-section though. That's why.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Oh,
I
He
forgot
didn't
about
get
that.
squeezed.
You got that cheat code.
He had a cheat code.
Yeah.
There's so many people messaging me like, "Oh, your guys' kid is the first like newborn that like doesn't look ugly," and I'm like, "Thank you,"
Yeah,
but
they
also
usually look like cone heads when they come out.
But also, it's because he didn't get squeezed.
You had the claw machine, just and you just pull it back out.
Pretty much.
All right. So
I just thought of Toy Story, the claw, and it's coming down the.
Sorry.
The
fact that they made you laugh so much, Jeremiah.
I'm sorry.
That's precious. All right. Let's go
how many
ahead and
voicemails do we have?
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9?
Oh,
have
dude,
9.
we're so close.
Wait, I think we have some repeaters though with multiple ones, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we have Cody who sent in 3,
Damn.
and David technically has 3 as well.
Technically.
There are definitely 2 from David specifically, but then
so
we have another Stormtrooper haiku. So,
Oh,
anyways, all right, let's transition over to voicemail time. This is one of my new favorite things that we play.
Our new transition.
Oh, I love it. Here we go. It's voicemail time. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. All right. For those of you who do not know, every Tuesday, we will listen or at least answer questions from our listeners who submit them, or statements or stories or whatever, via voicemail. And if you want in on the action, stay tuned, because we'll talk about that right after this. But it's always fun. I love hearing from everyone. Love hearing from all of our listeners. So let's go ahead and start. Speaking of, we mentioned Cody just a few seconds ago. The first 2 are from Cody. So let's go ahead and listen to the first one.
All right.
Hey everyone, Cody here, aka Trooper Zero from the Discord. I was just wondering what you think Dingerin's gonna do for his ship since he lost the Razor Crest, RIP. Do you think he'll buy new or used? Q slapping the hood of a janky starship. Thanks, have a great day.
So new or used? First of all,
definitely
thank you, Cody.
use.
Thank you, Cody. New or used? What do we think he's going to do for his starship?
So in season 2 when it got all destroyed by the spiders and got to that planet and it was all janky and he had to get fixed by the.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna buy something that looks like that. It's gonna be really janky, barely holding together. Shouldn't put it through hyperdrive. But I think because he doesn't have anything right now.
I would love for him to end up with a Mandalorian.
Dang, I was gonna say that. I
A
was gonna say
Mandalorian
that.
fighter, yeah. What
I
are they
was
called?
gonna say
They called scimitars,
Gauntlets.
It was something like, I don't know, something
medieval.
like armor-ish.
Yeah, I think it was Gauntlet.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah,
love for him to get one of those.
I think he's gonna get one of those.
Eventually, but he's gonna buy some janky ship first.
Nah,
Okay,
I
but
think
the
he'll-
thing
think
is,
he's
right
gonna
now
be
he's the
with
rightful
Bo-Katan.
ruler of Mandalore.
You think he's
Yeah.
gonna go with Bo-Katan with their big conflict, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you
Well,
this nice
it's
ship."
either-
Like,
no.
No,
They're just gonna
no.
travel. They're gonna travel together.
It's
I
either
don't
they
think that's
kill
gonna
each
happen.
other, or they can't just part.
But like, dude, okay, so he has the Darksaber.
Yeah,
Like, I guarantee you, like, one of the first conversations could be like, okay, yo, you have a responsibility whether you like it or not. We need to go to Mandalore.
that is true.
Hop in the back seat. Let's go.
And then he gets his own version. While he's
Yeah, and then he
over
gets his own gauntlet or Galvatron or whatever they're called.
there. Or
and
Galvatron.
it starts season
Transformers
3.
crossover.
Yeah.
Starts season 3 right after the Book of Boba, and it's like 3 years in advance, and we don't know what happened, and it's like
Maybe.
just crazy different.
Dude, honestly, who knows what they're gonna do now?
I think that would be really cool. Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's trying to find Grogu.
But I would love for him to have a Mandalorian fighter and it be like customized
Oh yeah,
with like a
No.
sick paint job. Maybe like Grogu, his face or something on it. That'd be cool.
no, that would be
That would also be kind of a
cute, cutesy.
telltale sign of who it is.
True.
But then again, Slave One also has a pretty distinctive look that gives it away.
The what?
So,
Boba Fett ship. It's
sorry, Boba
Starship.
Fett ship.
Starship. Not ship.
Didn't they come up with the actual name though now? Like,
They have. I don't know what it is.
I
yet.
thought they said something about that. I don't know.
On my Lego box it says Boba Fett Starship.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be kind of awkward if it was Boba Fett's ship and it's like a sailboat.
I mean,
You
I don't
never
know
know.
why they didn't.
He's
come
gotta-
up
he's
with
gotta
a
get
new
around
name
somehow.
when they But anyways,
So there are
that's our predictions.
completely incoherent.
There is a name.
Is?
Oh,
Wait, what?
Yes, it is Fire Spray.
Huh. Where did you read that?
I just Googled it.
Is it from Star Wars though? Is it like official?
That is
Fire spray.
ugly.
Well,
That's what
here's
David said in the chat.
here's
That is
an article
oh.
from IGN from
Oh, IGN's reputable.
and so I don't have time to read this.
That's fine.
I think it
Fire
might be a I don't know, but it is to say Boba Fett and Fire Spray.
Okay.
David did kind of confirm that too in the chat, but
Oh,
He's our
If that is-
official fact checker.
if that's true, that's a horrible name. But anyways,
okay. Well,
Okay,
there you go. All right.
it's still Slave One to me.
Yeah. Cody, here we go. Let's listen to his second voicemail.
Hey, Empire Radio. Cody here. I was just on my lunch break and listening to you guys and was wondering if you had kids, what would you name them from Star Wars? I named my oldest son Finn after Finn before they did him dirty in The Last Jedi. Just wondering
yeah,
what
true.
your thoughts were. Thanks.
Sick.
okay.
So what would we name our kids from Star Wars?
Rex is a cool name.
Rex.
That is pretty dope.
That is, yeah, that's pretty cool.
We could say Cody too. That's a good name.
No. Oh, yes. Cody is a great. I was sorry. Not that Cody isn't a good name. I just didn't want you to cop out and be like, I'll just pick the normal sounding name. Sorry, Cody is a great name. I just didn't want Jeremiah to take the easy way out. Sorry, guys. That's not what I meant. I just
David
wanted
in the chat. Rex is a dog's name. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, Cody. Your name, I don't think lowly of your name. It's just I wanted Jeremiah to be more creative.
Yeah, like don't say Ben.
Yeah, don't or like Luke. Like
I think Han is a cool name.
Han is a cool name. Yeah, Han is.
There's
a cool
not a lot
name.
of Hans.
Yeah,
Anakin. That's. I know you had a friend in growing up, right?
Yeah, that's
Andrew?
very unique.
No.
name.
I didn't have a friend growing up. It was a cousin of a friend.
Oh,
And even then, I don't know if I'd call her a friend. She was just kind of like someone that kind of tagged along in our neighborhood when we all got together and did stuff.
It was a girl.
No,
I think we've gone.
No. The girl's cousin was named Anakin.
Oh,
Yeah, I would love to. I would, and this would never happen for a multitude of reasons. But Kanan would be a cool boy's name.
Kanan is a cool name.
Padme would be a nice girl's name.
Yeah, Padme would be great.
I like Leia. I think Leia's a cool name.
Yeah, Leia's great.
Good girl.
Bo-Katan would not be on the list.
No.
That's
Chewbacca.
yeah, that's a good one. There have been too many dogs named Chewbacca for
Ooh.
me to.
I got a great name for a boy.
Okay.
Let's go.
Cad.
Oh
Bane.
yeah, that's a cool. That's
Cad
a cool
Bane.
one.
Insert last name like Cad
Yeah.
and Bane middle name. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. David in the chat says Babu Frick. I'd be down.
Babu.
I'd be down.
Babu.
Gonk.
Maybe
Poe.
Frick as a middle name.
Babu
Like,
Frick Shoemaker.
Ben Frick, get over here.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm trying to think if there's any good ones. Any other good ones?
we're just gonna
Jin.
name every.
Oh,
name
yeah.
most. Jin is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Urso is pretty cool. Go last name. Is
Yeah,
also pretty
Urso as a first name is kind of cool. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. That's kind of cool.
What are some
You
like
could just- you-
crazy
you-
names? Like what's
You could
what's
just name your
the
kid R2D2.
cool. Thrawn. Just name the kid Thrawn. Like
Thrawn.
how
Oh my
aggressive would
gosh.
that be?
what was the guy from episode? What was the guy from episode 4? Was it Porkins. Is that his name?
Gosh, yes. Okay, and Porkins was like apparently a pretty elite pilot too,
Yeah.
Apparently
which is
not.
hilarious. Okay, well, still, I'm pretty sure Porkins was taken out by Darth Vader. So like
I can't
that's
remember.
not saying much. Like Vader is obviously the best pilot in the galaxy at this time.
True.
So
Revan.
don't
That's
get me
so
started.
intense, though.
Don't get me
Andrew will have
started.
a kid just so he can name him Revan.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be so like.
Malik.
Is Revan
could
here,
work.
guys? Did Revan make it to class today? Like that poor kid would have
Freaking stands up in a hood and a mask, 2 lightsabers.
Hell
Bro,
yeah, I'm here.
he would rule the whole
Jar Jar?
school.
Nope. What I want to see is the Star Wars names, but have that guy
Yeah.
from Key and Peele do like
Aaron.
Oh gosh, Fisto. I don't know about Fisto. I'm looking at the chat. Mithral Nerodo. No, that's too long. It's too long.
Kiadi.
Kiadi.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I mean you could. Korean names a lot of the times are like 2 syllables like that are hyphenated or something. So that could work.
I like the name Ahsoka, but that's my dog's name.
Yeah, you can't name
Cool name.
a child Ahsoka
Hondo.
while you have Hondo. Honestly, though, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Brady says
Omega.
Maul.
Oh, I said Maul already.
No, let's not do that.
Oh, you can't. Omega.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool name.
Omega Shoemaker, dude. That's like Kim Kardashian level right there.
Oh yeah, it's not West or East or.
That's that's like weird celebrity name.
I could have a kid named East and West.
True.
East, West, and West, West.
No, East and West.
East and West. Ooh.
Not East West. East and West.
His last name is West.
So it's literally their entire life is going to be a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to hate you for that.
Yeah.
You know, there's actual people that name their kid
Watto.
They did this thing. They did a little documentary on it. There's a lot of people name their kids Espen, and they spell it ESPN.
Yeah.
They had that on SportsCenter like 15 years ago.
Yeah, we're not gonna. No.
What? It's kind of cool. All right.
Espen
Well, we could
as a name is kind of cool, but don't spell it ESPN. Anyways, all right.
We could do this all night, so we should.
Yeah,
keep
we
going.
could.
Yeah.
So moving on, we have a returning favorite, Daddy Palps.
Ooh.
Here we go.
It's been a hot minute.
It has.
What up, guys? Daddy Palps here. Just wanted to call in. Haven't called in a while, and say hi. So I have a question. What is your guys' favorite inside jokes? Your top 3 favorite inside jokes, either within the Discord or just as part of the podcast in general. Oh yeah, I also wanted to say happy birthday to Andrew, because I haven't in a while, and congratulations on the baby.
Stop.
And I agree, the giant California lightsaber sucks. All right, on that note, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.
I think he's eating his
All right,
lunch
bye.
too.
Okay, I do want to.
What lightsaber did you say was janky?
California, the
California
giant,
lightsaber.
the giant one.
The giant lightsaber, yeah, it looks
Oh.
like California.
The
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
twins.
I really loved that the title for that voicemail was "Sorry, I was hungry," and I was like, "What is he talking about?" And then towards the end, he starts chewing, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." Oh man, that was like.
I was like, it sounds like he's eating lunch as well.
that was literally the most Daddy Palps voicemail I've ever. Like, if you know Daddy Palps,
True.
every part of that voicemail was just 100%.
The only thing that was missing was like a gunshot or something.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a shotgun.
Yeah. I loved that. That was great. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday and congratulating me on the baby that I'm not having. Thank you for that. Inside jokes.
that you're having a baby. That's pretty.
Yeah,
That's
actually-
jumping up there.
That's
I really enjoy that. I enjoy the one about my birthday. For everyone that doesn't know, if you weren't in the Discord at the time, so around the time of my birthday back in May, an entire channel was created to wish me happy birthday, and it stayed going, like actively going,
like a month or something like
for
that.
like a solid. I think it was almost 2 months.
Was
It was
it?
a while.
After my birthday, people just kept congratulating, like, especially when new people would join the Discord, they'd be like, "Oh, it's Andrew's birthday." It's like, no, it's not my birthday. It has been my birthday for 3 weeks. So that was
David
good.
just wrote in the chat. That reminds me. Happy birthday, Drew. That was
Yours is still going, Drew.
Yeah,
mine's still going. Thanks.
Yeah, I
3 weeks ago, but
yeah, I really enjoy those. Those are some of my favorites. It can get better than the first half of Something is Trash.
Yep.
For me, that's like my favorite one, especially because of the way Drew and I reacted to that.
True.
Like, especially going back when I made that video, like watching
we
that.
gotta repost that video.
Bro, it brought me so much joy just listening to like the natural way that Drew and I were going off of each other. Like that was
like the beginning
hilarious.
too. Like that was like the beginning of Empire Radio.
That was when we did
we
our.
We were still in the same place. We were doing in-person recordings.
Yeah,
then.
this was in your basement.
Yeah,
that was a good
in
one.
the old studio.
Yeah. So I think my top 3 for sure are the trash one.
I'm Broom Kid.
That's
that night, the night that Broom Kid
night.
was born.
Also, good meme.
The
good
memes
video.
that came up that night.
Dude, those are so funny. So funny.
The video on Instagram as well.
Yeah. So I think those 2 are in my top 3, and then probably I really enjoy the Andrew's having a baby one.
You
because
do?
so many people have gotten creative in like throwing that in different spots. I enjoy that, even though I'm not having a kid.
No.
So
subtle ones are like the smooth comments. Like when you say
I
smooth.
like that one.
That one's
Yeah.
good.
The muffins.
Muffin. Ooh, that's a.
The fact that Jeremiah just one hit KO'd some muffins.
Yeah, I do miss the good muffin days. We should eat muffins.
Post stream. Yeah.
Speaking of, I'll talk to you guys later about something. But
is it your weird flex that we talked about earlier?
No, it's not my weird. I didn't flex.
You were flexing that. So he has a.
Okay, no, I flex it otherwhere. I'm not flexing on the podcast.
Well, I'm gonna. He bought a Traeger grill, so he was flexing it on Facebook and Instagram.
I saw that pop on up on Instagram. I was like, here we go.
Purchase it. It was gifted to me for my birthday from my dad. Okay, so I didn't buy it because that's really expensive. I cannot afford that, but it is dope.
How are your chicken breasts that you cooked on them?
Very moist and
you can't just ask a man how his chicken breasts are. Jeremiah.
Yeah,
I just did.
You gotta.
All right. Does Daddy Pops? Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Probably. Okay. All right. We have another returning favorite, Boss Nass.
Ooh.
He's back. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Me so back, and me so wishing you a bomb bad day. Me so been gone on my trip to the forests of Nabu, and me so been having a good time there. Me so wondering if you so been having a good time too. Misa thinking that Misa needing to send me Bombad General Binks to go say hello. Keep up the good work, and Misa be listening for more, and you be inspecting Jar Jar to swing by.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited for that.
Yep.
True.
Yeah, Boss Nass, thank you so much. You're always welcome.
Yeah,
on our show, always. You're a fan favorite, for sure. You're one of my favorites.
To answer your question, we're doing good.
We're doing great.
We're surviving.
We're doing great. Glad your trip went well. Good to hear from you again. thriving. We're making podcasts and
Yep.
still waiting for Jeremiah to win the lottery, and
Yep.
Me too.
same old, same old. So we're doing good.
Not
Thank you
sleeping
so
that
much.
much, but life goes on.
Your sleep hasn't improved any?
Actually, last night I slept all night because Stephanie just kept waking up with him.
Ah,
But I feel like I overslept because I've been like working on such little sleep.
so you can't.
Now
you
that
can't
I
win.
had too much, now I'm like more tired for some weird reason. I don't know how that works, but yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, Boss Nass, thank you as always. Feel free to send Jar Jar by. That would
Yes,
that
send
would
them
make our day.
over.
All right. Moving on, we have a voicemail from Brady, good old Zarnotopia's Hypnar III himself. So let's take a listen.
Hello, hello. This is Brady, aka Zarnotopius Hypnar III, leaving another message for you guys. Haven't been able to keep up with you a lot lately. I've just moved to another province and I'm starting university, so it's been difficult, but I'm back. And just wanted to ask you what your favorite lightsabers are in all of Star Wars.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.
Brady, thank you.
So,
We should just pick one.
well, we did a whole episode on this.
Wait, we did. We actually did.
we
We did our
did,
top
yeah.
5 favorite lightsaber hilts. We did.
I honestly forgot.
We've done so many episodes now. So we did do top 5 where we do great in-depth discussion on why and all that stuff. I can't even remember what I think my top one.
I'm
I
pretty
think my
sure the
top
dark
was-
saber was in there for me. I don't know.
I know the Darksaber was in there. I think Ahsoka from Clone Wars season 7, I think, was my favorite.
Interesting.
With the blue blades?
With the
The
blue
blue,
blades,
blue, blue, blue.
Huh.
I think.
All right.
I don't remember what my top one was. It was either probably Maul or the dark saber. I would assume,
I think it was Darksaber.
most likely.
Hmm.
And then
I think
yours
mine-
was probably. I don't even know.
Mine's
Probably-
changed a little bit, I think, because we've gotten new material since.
Well, I mean, if we talk about the lightsabers from Visions, that's a whole other podcast
Dude,
episode.
Yo,
Fs.
the dude from.
F's. I just love that.
I was
name.
wondering what you were saying, and then I made the connection. I was like, Jeremiah, where are you going with this? F's is cool. I love the one from the duel. His lightsaber hilt is dope. But I would say,
Oh, the one that gets huge.
Ooh,
No.
we gotta throw that one in there, Drew.
Yeah.
California Saber.
no. Anyways, I would say canon wise, if we're talking strictly canon, no EU, I love Stellan's lightsaber.
Oh,
He's got the little cross guards, but they're like metal, and then they have the blue lightsaber, like the mini blades in them. Dude, I love that hilt. It's such a cool lightsaber hilt.
Well, I remember one of Jeremiah's was the Wookiee, the youngling.
Gunji.
Gunji, yeah.
Gunji's, the wood one. That was pretty cool.
So
So yeah, go listen to that episode. It is episode insert number,
A
right?
long time
Lance?
ago.
In a galaxy far away.
s-
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe David can find the number of that. Episode 32. Nice
There
job,
we
David.
go. There we
32?
go.
It was that long time ago?
There's no way.
Oh,
Was it
David
that
said it.
low?
I believe our mod, David.
I feel like we just did this like in the spring or something.
Of 2 years ago.
But I guess it was like a year ago then.
Wow. Dang.
Time flies when you're having fun.
All right. Well, speaking of having fun, we have a Stormtrooper haiku number 2.
Ooh.
And I'm pumped. Let's take a listen.
And now, Stormtrooper Haiku.
Laminate armor. Duty to my empire. But I'm just a man.
Stormtrooper Haiku.
All right.
All right.
I like it.
And further solidifying that life as a Stormtrooper sucks.
True.
So they're good. They're really good poems, though. I say keep them coming. Thank you for
Yes,
that.
don't
David.
stop.
Don't stop.
They're creative.
He won't stop.
Yeah. So here we go. We have Moving
Andrew
on.
did not get that right away, and then
Anyways, moving on to Cody, we have whose name does not suck. By the way, I'm just gonna throw that out there. We have our third voicemail, so let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio, Cody here. I was just getting home from work and had a question. What if you could have a helmet or mask from Star Wars, what would you want to have? I currently have a Stormtrooper helmet, Mando helmet, Death Watch helmet, and a Sith Acolyte mask.
Ooh.
Thanks, Mike.
I'm laughing because as Cody, you're asking this, Drew's just holding his hands up. He's like, look at my helmet. He's just flexing in the back because he's got Mando's helmet, Boba's helmet, and then prototype Boba, the all-white one. So
those are the three I want.
Okay, well, that makes it easy to answer that question because you have them.
True.
So that's good. Jeremiah, you wouldn't want any, would you?
if I had to have one, I would go with a
He
Rex.
said if I had to have one,
a Rex helmet, or just like a basic Phase 1 clone OG.
No, I actually was talking about this today. The one I really want the Ahsoka Trooper 501st.
Yeah, I go with that one too.
That's the one I really want.
But
I really want that in my collection.
I could also go for the set of Bad Batch helmets.
True. I was gonna say also Tech's helmet is pretty dope. I love the way it looks.
Yeah, I have the Shock Trooper helmet from Battlefront 1, EA Battlefront back in the day. So I do have that.
I still remember the jab McKay made at you when you made that video.
You finally used your helmet.
Finally, you got some use for it. Thanks, appreciate that. I'd love Revan's helmet, mask, whatever you want to call it. I think it's technically a mask, but I would love to have that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like obviously, Mando, Boba Fett, any of those would be cool. Like if I was just collecting them. But if I had to choose one, I would say Revan probably. Like a really nice replica, that would be great. I've seen some super cheap ones out there and they look really bad. But yeah. All right. We have two to wrap things up. We have two, not one, two voicemails from David. So let's give them a listen.
Hello, gentlemen. It's David from the Discord. I have an actual question for yous today. Oh, I said yous. Dang. I wanted to not do that, but too late now. I wanted to ask when the last time you cried was and why. Thanks, guys. Keep up the fantastic work, ER boys.
Thanks, David. I love the air horns. I had listened to that one, and the first time I listened to it when I was previewing, I was like, I had my volume up loud enough that I jumped. Yeah.
And everyone, there's at least 2 accents from our listeners at some point that just happened. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So thank you for that. This is a really good question, and this
I
is
know
a
mine.
great
I know mine.
We might.
It's the same.
I think it might actually be the same thing, Drew.
Was it episode 6?
Yes, it was episode 6.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah,
so let's just go ahead and get this out of the way for Jeremiah because I know
he's already rolled his eyes at us.
So I'm just gonna come out and say that episode 6 of Squid Game on multiple occasions like wrecked me. Like I am not one. I don't cry. It's literally been years.
Oh, I cry a lot.
Oh well, it's been like a few years since I like actually cried, and I didn't like fully cry watching this, but like I 100% teared up. Like it hit me.
Oh, I didn't fully cry. I teared up.
But bro, that episode hit me in such an unexpectedly deep place that like we finished it, and I just went to bed. I was like, I need to emotionally recover and I don't know what it was.
I was so pissed. I was so
Bro,
mad.
I don't know what
Oh,
it was,
Lord.
but you have the 3. I'm not going to spoil it for people who
Don't
haven't seen
spoil it
Squid
because
Game.
Jeremiah
but
might
you have
watch it
those,
one day. But
they're probably
I
not.
said,
But
yeah, probably not.
but you have those 3 moments with those 3 characters where you're just like your heart just gets ripped out every single time, especially with player 1. And I'm just like, dude, oh man. That I was not expecting to be hit that hard, because like 9 times out of 10, if there's like a sad moment in a drama or a movie, I'm like, okay, this is sad, I acknowledge it, but let's move on. But like that, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I don't know how to feel after this anymore.
It was rough.
It was rough.
You know what's crazy is that because I watched that last week, but before that is the moment where I held my son for the first time.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
That was like
for Jeremiah.
Huh?
For Jeremiah, the last time he cried was when he held his son.
Oh no!
And I'm sure it'll be when I
are-
hold my son
yeah,
in
when
a
you-
few weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the kid that I'm not having.
But yeah,
Your-
before
your
that,
kid
that was
Hondo.
yeah. Before that was when my son was born, and I actually really cried then. It wasn't just like tear up and
Oh, well,
angry
sure.
and sad,
Yeah, that's
but-
understandable.
Jeremiah, was it when you watched the Bride?
The Village Bride, I always got teary-eyed like every time I watched it.
Every time.
I don't know. It always got to me.
Alright.
I got
Hey, no judgment.
a little tickle in my eye.
Every single time?
A
He
lot
said
of
every
times.
time. That's like 8
Wow.
times.
If I just like sit and watch it, that music gets to me.
The last time when I watched that one last episode, I cried because those foreheads were so big.
Okay. All right, Jeremiah, please continue.
And then like a week and a half ago, there was a family funeral. I was a little teary-eyed there, but
that's understandable.
But that's the only thing that comes to mind.
All right.
That's sad.
Well,
How did we segue
David,
out of that
great question. Thank you. That is an example of a great question. Like, it doesn't have to be about
True,
Star
that
Wars.
was-
Something personal, something that we can actually discuss. Yeah.
But for Jeremiah, it kind of was Star Wars, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All of the voicemails have been great so far tonight. So everyone, thank you.
True.
Great
Yeah,
work.
especially
Keep it up.
Cody's. Cody, we like your name. It's a good voicemail.
Yeah. Yes, please.
That's
Dude,
the
what
new
was-
inside joke.
new
That
meme.
Andrew
It was
hates
like-
your name if you're Cody.
It was like two weeks ago. It was freaking the lightsaber. Like, Andrew hates the lightsaber. He hates anime. I was like, no. All right. Anyways, here's voicemail number 2. from
Welcome to voicemail
David.
number 3. Yeah, that's right. I got another question for you.
Well, did you play the wrong one?
No, I meant to turn up the volume.
Oh.
And
then you deleted it? Oh.
No, I didn't delete it. It's still here. So here's the second voicemail from David.
Welcome to voicemail number 3. Yeah, that's right. I got another question for you guys. When Han says it's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs, Han, a parsec is a measure of distance, not time. I've been trying to figure out what he means by that. Do you think he was lying, or do you think he was talking about how he navigated close to black holes to get the Falcon over a shorter distance than the normal route? Also, if I submit 12 questions myself
Yes.
that you guys can get discussion out of, will that count for the 12 required for a whole episode?
If they're all different.
Also, when you guys gonna invite me back on the show, man?
Wow.
Drew just
That was
wow.
aggressive.
Well, for
Wow.
that last
I was-
one,
I was gonna say for that last
potentially November 2nd, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
But also speaking of David, we forgot to mention.
No, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Well, just making sure.
It's all planned out.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So
if you're
yeah.
thinking about what I'm thinking about, then yes, we'll get
Okay.
to that.
All right,
Yeah.
just making sure.
But yeah, so our November schedule is open. So
Yeah.
Imperial Coliseum, round 2.
Yeah.
That let us know what Tuesday in November you're as early as the 2nd. So
Yeah.
But anyways,
what was the other
what was the
question?
question?
Okay, so basically he was like, what was Han talking about when
Oh.
he said
Oh, I have no idea
parsec.
anything
Yeah,
about math. So
Well, yes. So the Kessel run was the preset path to navigate through the storms or whatever, because we see that in the Han Solo movie where there's little beacons of light.
Yep.
And so the parsec, yes. So originally, yes, it was used as a time thing, and then they wanted to fix it, and so in the movie they made it the distance. So he got out of the storm area in the shortest distance. So
and I think it's basically he found a newer shortcut. He found a new shortcut and achieved it in less distance, but also you could maybe argue less time too.
Yeah.
Though it doesn't imply, it's not a measurement of time. By taking that shortcut, even dealing with the stuff he dealt with, he also did it more quickly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of legendary, especially because of the fact that he did it he went through the mall. Like, that's not something you did because that's extremely dangerous. So I think, to answer your question, I think that's what it is.
And if Neil deGrasse Tyson is listening, send us a voicemail in and explain it a little bit better, because you know more about this stuff than we do.
Yeah, I heard he's the expert on parsecs.
Or if he just wants to do a whole call-in show, we'd have you on.
Because he tears apart Star Wars all the time, so
that's fair. It could be fun. It could be fun nonetheless.
It'd be fun.
Speaking of fun, you know what's fun? Social media use in a healthy way.
True.
Because too much is not good for you. But in moderation, it can be a great tool. And fun fact, you can connect with us on social media.
We can?
Yep.
How can
we do that?
Well, there's a link. And it's like the world between worlds.
Ooh.
But all of the gates are different social media accounts.
Oh. Okay.
So if you want to go and check out that link,
so you tell me one of the gates we can't save MySpace?
Oh,
no.
R.I.P. MySpace.
No, we're not.
But isn't it still a thing?
It's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing. We're not doing that.
Zynga.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Anyways, if you find this link, and I'm going to tell you where the link is shortly. If you find this, it has information on everything, all of our social media links. It's got a link to join the Discord. It's got a link to leave a voicemail. It's got everything you can need to connect with us on the internet. Our Twitch to catch the streams, our YouTube to watch the video playbacks, everything. And that link can be found, 1, in the About Us section on our Twitch, twitch.tv/Empire Radio. 2, our Instagram bio. You don't have to have an account to find it. You just need to go to instagram.com/Empire Radio Podcast. And 3, it is down in the description, not the discussion, the description of the audio episodes. Below every single episode, there's a section that says connect with us. And there's a link that says links with 2 I's, links.co/Empire Radio. You click on that, boom, takes you there. You can do everything. You can have a heyday. Just do all the things. And that's how you can do it. It's the best way to do it. But speaking of connections, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the listeners about a recent change, a very positive change that happened with our podcast?
Well, it's not necessarily a change. It's
addition.
Where a door has opened, and we've walked.
A new relationship has formed.
Yes. So, everybody, we know our boy David. Like we know him. He's a big personality. He's one of our mods on Discord, and he has his own podcast, Needlessly Nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
And
shameless plug, you should go listen to it if you need more nerdy, because it's not just Star Wars, but it does cover Star Wars. So you should definitely go check that out.
Yes. Well, David started a website, Needlessly Nerdy Podcast Network.
Yep.
Where he is going to be finding various nerdy topic related podcasts and have this website where it's free promotion and networking for the podcast. And so it's going to be one website where you can go to and find all these different podcasts. And we are the first one to join in. And so we're excited for that because we can collab with that website and as more sites or more podcasts join in, we'll have a bigger podcast network and family where, maybe you need a podcast that talks about the MCU, and maybe you go to that website and we'll be there someday.
Yeah.
Or if you have your own podcast, you can definitely reach out to.
You can apply to be a part of the network.
Be part of the network, and you could be right next to Empire Radio on Needlessly Nerdy. Is it needlesslynerdy.com? Is that what it was? I forget. I should know this website by now. Sorry.
I don't remember the actual URL off the top of my head.
Yes, but it will be in the description.
Yeah.
So we're excited for this because, it's a next step in growing our podcast because, if other podcasts join in, they're going to come to the website and they're going to see us. And so that's going to be
needlesslynerdy.com.
All right, perfect. And so we're excited for that. And so who knows what the future will hold with that, but we are very optimistic about that.
Nothing is changing, but like literally nothing is changing for our listeners and our viewers. It's just a resource, a really great, really genuine resource that has been opened up to us in terms of networking and collaboration and other resources. And with these types of things, strength definitely comes in just being connected, and it's a logical step. So like, again, nothing, you're probably not going to see any changes at all, except for the fact that over time the podcast will continue to get better. So yeah. And here's something in summation of all of that.
Hi, I'm Lexi from the Needlessly Nerdy Podcast Network, and I approve this podcast.
There you go.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah, you'll be hearing that more. We'll be playing that every episode. It's a little shout out to the network, but we're really excited for it. David's great, and Lexi is also great. Yeah. And we're excited to be a part of something alongside them. So there you go.
All
Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Okay, so that wraps up our coverage of Star Wars Visions. Doesn't mean we won't return to it sometime later for some odd reason, but for now, we're putting Visions back on the Empire Radio idea shelf. And next week, I'm pleased to announce we have another EU with Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, I'm not having a kid. Gosh. I was like, why is Jeremiah reacting this way? No, next week we are doing another EU with Andrew episode. Like we mentioned, we're doing these every month now. So it's a really interesting one. The idea was birthed out of a novel, an expanded universe novel that I read. Ooh. And so it's going to be quite the history lesson.
How's that PowerPoint coming?
I haven't started it, but I've done a crap ton of research already.
Well, good.
So like, obviously the book was a ton of research, and then I've literally been consuming videos on this topic to get a broader idea of everything and then all I got to do is put it down in a presentation. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a topic that I would say maybe not as many people know about. Who knows? I might be surprised, and like everybody in the chat's like, yeah, I knew this already, but I would wager that it's not something that's very commonly talked about. So it'll be fun. And then the following week, in celebration of Halloween, we're going to be covering a full review of what is it? Lego Star Wars
Halloween Trail of Terror,
Terrifying Tales or something like that. It's going to be. I haven't seen it yet. I've been purposely waiting to watch this to get closer to Halloween.
Watch party.
My dad has watched this, but I haven't yet. So this is weird.
Oh, that is
but
weird.
Drew,
watch party.
Let's schedule
Jeremiah?
a watch party.
Jeremiah.
Watch party?
We'll
schedule it.
I don't know.
Let's do it the day of, like right before.
The day of before I
fine.
Get home to work till like 20 minutes before we start.
Anyways, we'll figure it out. So what you
can all have candy,
Yeah, what you have to look forward to is next week, EU with Andrew. The following week, we're covering the Lego special. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. But with all that being said, you have been listening to another fantastic episode of the Empire Radio Podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.